Good morning, boys and girls. Today I'm going to read my friend Bob's here favorite book called Bonesville. Now, this is a fantastic mystery that Bob figured out before the end, but let's see if you can. There were 1,275 skeletons living peacefully in Bonesville. They each had 206 bones. That meant there were 262,650 bones. Don't worry, boys and girls, we're not going to quiz you. One night in Bonesville, Mrs. Strongbones was hanging her wash on the line when suddenly a monster appeared. "Help! Some bone! Any bone!" she cried as she ran through Bonesville. "A monster is loose!" Every skeleton in town ran away in fear. But Sherlock Bones, Bonesville's best detective, was not afraid. "Tell me, my brave friend, what did this monster look like?" Sherlock Bones asked. "Oh, it was bone-chattering," Mrs. Strongbones said. "The beast had a giant head, a long tail, and the sharpest teeth I've ever seen. It ran off with my radius." "I will crack the case," Sherlock Bones promised. The next morning, T-Bone the butcher opened up his shop. He was busy at work when suddenly he heard a terrible sound. It sounded like the noise was coming from the freezer. He opened the freezer door and was suddenly knocked off his feet. "Marrow me!" he cried. He called Sherlock Bones to the butcher shop. "Can you help me?" T-Bone asked. "The beast stole my fibula, and now I can barely walk." Sherlock Bones looked around the shop for clues. "My dear butcher," Sherlock Bones asked, "can you tell me more about this beast?" "It was a three-headed monster that growled so loud it rattled my bones." All of Bonesville was shaken to the bone. First, Mrs. Strongbones lost her radius, and now T-Bone had lost his fibula. What bones would disappear next? Dr. Crackbones was seeing his patients at the Bonesville Hospital when suddenly he heard a crash in the waiting room. The beast ran in, snatching bones left and right. Patients flew through the air. The police arrived to find that the patients had lost a tibia, a coccyx, and 12 vertebrae. "Oh, my bones," a policeman said. "We must call Sherlock Bones right away." "What did you see?" Sherlock Bones asked Dr. Crackbones. "The beast had enormous wings and deadly claws," the doctor replied. "It was ferocious." The next night, Cafe Funny Bones was in full swing. Skeletons tapped their phalanges and shook their pelvises as they danced the jitterbone to the sounds of Josephine Baker Bones and her bonecastra. Suddenly, the beast attacked again. Sherlock Bones rushed to the scene. All of the skeletons had fled except for one. "I lost my cranium, Boney," the doorman cried. The beast had slimy scales and a roar that shook the whole place to the bone. The next attack was at the local swimming pool. As skeletons were floating and splashing about, the monster struck. It stole more vertebrae, some ribs, and even a sternum. Then the beast bombarded the Bonham and Bailey Circus. Clowns, trapeze artists, and horseback riders each lost a bone in the mayhem. Oh my. During the Bone Olympics, another 99 skeletons were dismantled. Sherlock Bones kept a list of all the bones that were lost. "Save us from the beast, Sherlock Bones," the townspeople pleaded. "We're running out of time. Soon none of our bones will be left." "Be patient, my friends. I told you I will crack the case, and I will after one last calculation." From the cranium to the phalanges, Sherlock Bones counted that 205 bones had been stolen. "It takes 206 bones to make a complete skeleton," he cried. Sherlock Bones noticed that the beast took every kind of bone except for one. The only one missing was the talus. He used his own ankle bone to set a trap for the beast. "Gotcha!" he cried. Sherlock Bones made a startling discovery. "Meet your monster, my friend," Sherlock Bones said. "He's just a harmless dog." The skeletons of Bonesville sighed with relief when they saw the friendly hound. Suddenly, the dog ran away from Sherlock Bones to greet a stranger who was approaching. "Dr. Wattsbones, my old friend," Sherlock Bones exclaimed. "Where have you been these past days? I could have used your help on this case." "It's a long story," Dr. Wattsbones replied. "Let me explain." Don't worry, boys and girls, it's not too long. "I was sailing across the sea with some of the good bones of Bonesville when a giant wave crashed over us and our bones were scattered. When we reached land, everyone scrambled to put themselves together again. That's when I realized that none of my bones were mine. I was made up of bits and pieces of my friends' bones. Thankfully, my doggedly determined hound, Spot of the Baskervilles, has now gathered all my bones back together. So here I am, a whole skeleton once again. And here are your rightful bones, my friends. Now I can return them to you." "Good bones of Bonesville," Sherlock Bones said. "If you know what you fear, you'll fear it less. Your worst nightmare was nothing but a sweet old dog. Now the town will be at peace once again." The three friends went off into the night, their bones happily clattering. "We'll crack the next case together," Sherlock Bones said. So, snip, snap, snout, story time, out.